Hi, Flint Hill fourth graders, it's Dr. Price, and we just want you to know we're missing you, but we have to continue with our learning and going on. So Dr. Price is going to introduce you to fractions. Now this should hopefully be just a little bit of a review for you if you did some Zoom at the end of third grade, because that's when they talk about fractions. But before we jump into our new fraction unit, there's just some baseline building blocks you need for fractions. So we're going to do a learning lab today with math and fractions from Zearn. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to attempt to share my screen with you. Let me stop sharing for just a moment. There it is. Sorry about that. Won't have to. Let's do a new share. Couldn't find it for just a minute. All right. So slice and share. So when we're talking about fractions, you're talking about a piece of a whole, talking about a part of a whole. So think of a pizza, and that when you cut a pizza and you cut it down the middle, you cut it into half. So you're cut it into two pieces or two equal pieces. So fractions have to be equal pieces of something, and they can be small, they can be little, they can be different, cut into different shapes, whether it's triangles in a pizza, rectangles, but we want to have equal parts when we're talking about fractions. So let's see what we have here. Match the name of your fractional part to the correct rectangle. So when we're looking at this first rectangle here, let's just look at this one. When we're looking at this first rectangle, we're going to look at the parts. And in this one, we have one part and two parts. For our middle one here, we have 1, 2, 3. And you can see that all the parts are cut so that they're equal. They're the same size for each piece. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 equal parts. So when we're looking at fractions, we're talking about, again, parts of the whole. So this would be 2 parts of a whole, 3 parts of the whole, or 4 parts of a whole. So we're going to look at these special terms, and I want to erase where I drew my circle right there. And let's look at our terms at the bottom: fourths, thirds, and halves. When we're thinking of fourths, you hear the word 4, 4 and 4. So that tells you, kind of gives you a hint in there that we're going to probably be looking for something with 4 parts. So when we look at our rectangle, we can see that we cut this big rectangle into 4 equal slices. So that would be our fourths. Our next word that we see is thirds. Well, we see the word third, and if we count in a race, we can count first, second, third. We know that the third person, or 1, 2, 3 in line, is the third winner. Is 3 parts: 1, 2, 3, first, second, third. So we know that thirds is talking about 3 parts. So here our fraction has 3 separate parts: 1, 2, 3. And that leaves us with this crazy word halves, or you may have heard it half, 1 half, but 1 half would be 1 piece. And when we're talking about both halves, then you're talking about 2 pieces. Okay, and we're going to erase all of that writing. Okay, so now we have 2 friends that want to share a sandwich. We want to split this sandwich so that each person gets an equal part. Now we know, as children especially, and fourth graders, we like equal. We don't like someone to get more than us. So we're going to split this sandwich into 2 equal parts. So here's our line. So if I put it right here, does that look like this person is going to get just as much as the blue person? No, that little person would only get a tiny slice. That is not, would not be fair. What if I moved it way over here for the red person and said this was going to be the red person slice and this was going to be the blue person slice? No, that's not half. So when we're looking at splitting this sandwich into equal parts for 2 people, we're talking about just 2 pieces. So we're going to try, I'm going to put it about right there because I think that that's close to half, but it says not done yet. Oh, let's see what it says to do. Not done yet. I wonder if I have to cut it with this. Let's see. Maybe there. There we go. It actually wanted me to cut it. There we go. So even Dr. Price learned sometimes. But that is, that would be cutting our sandwich. And if we're looking at that as a, let me draw it. As we're looking at its 2 parts, then we're looking at one of 2 parts, because now I've got my sandwich into 2 parts. And this man gets 1 in 2 parts. So our fraction is 1/2. He gets half of the sandwich and he gets half of the sandwich.
Welcome to the Zern Sandwich Shop. Good job slicing a sandwich so that 2 friends can equally share like this. Ready to try some more? Today our special is fraction sandwiches, my favorite. I hope you're hungry to Zern.
Okay, so we're going to continue and we're going to make fraction sandwiches, it says. So now that we know how to do it, we have 4 friends that want to share a sandwich. 1, 2, 3, 4 friends wanting to share a sandwich. And we have to split this sandwich so that each person will get an equal part. So we don't want some friend to get this much and another friend to get this much. We want to make sure that we give this friend an equal part of our sandwich. So I'm going to come. It looks like I can cut 1 in the middle, 1 in the middle, 1 in the middle, and that would give me 4 equal parts. So I'm going to cut there. And we're going to come. So that's one friend's part of the sandwich. And I think maybe right there would be 2. And then right here would be 3. So now it looks like I have close to 4 equal parts. And it is saying that, yes, that is close to 4 equal parts. So now, how many equal parts in my sandwich do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I sound like the little lollipop man. How many licks does it take to get to the middle of the lollipop? But there are 4 equal parts. And I'm going to tell you that when you write 4 equal parts, or you write 1 out of those equal parts, you're going to write it as 1/4. So this entire sandwich is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. And if we added those together, we would get 1/4, 2/4, which was half, 3/4, 4/4, and 4/4 would equal 1 whole. So anytime you have the same number on the top and the bottom, you have a whole. Now I want you to know that we call the top number the numerator. And of course I'm writing with my mouse, so bear with me. I'm not on a board, so I've got to control that little thing. Numerator is the top number and your bottom number is your denominator. So the bottom number is always the whole and your top number is going to be your part. So the top number is your numerator and your bottom number is your denominator. Top number being your parts and your bottom number being your whole. Okay, let's continue. How much of the sandwich will each person get? Well, we just did that. I showed you how to write 1/4. And that fraction bar is kind of your division bar. So you have 1/4. So each person is going to get 1/4, 1/3, or 1/2. Well, think about that now. 1/4 would be 1 out of 4. 1/3 would be only 1 out of 3 pieces, but this sandwich has 4. And 1/2 would mean I was getting 2 of these pieces. So I would know that my person is getting 1/4 of the sandwich.
We slice the first sandwich into 2 equal parts or halves. Then you slice the different sandwich into 4 equal parts or fourths. Watch me do the same. Since I need an even number of pieces, I'll first cut in the middle.
So he's cutting that sandwich in half.
Which gives me 2 pieces. And then I'll cut each of those pieces again.
It's actually making me hungry.
Now there are 4 equal pieces. Ethan, if I eat 1 piece, how much of the sandwich will I be eating?
There are 4 pieces in the whole sandwich, and that's 1 piece. So you would be eating 1/4.
Right on.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment because I don't need my video to get too long, and I forgot to totally check the time. So we're going to stop there with this section of the video, and then I'm going to do part 2 that will continue to go over how to do fractions with parts and wholes. Okay, so be sure to come back and join me for part 2.